Okay, hey subbies. Today I'm going to bring you my very first story time. I'm gonna try to do these story times every Tuesday just so I can have some continuous uploading for y'all, because y'all do know about my situation and me not having a laptop. So I really am gonna try to get you a story time every Tuesday. If you see moving in the back, my best friend is back here. So I'm going to start at the beginning and kind of tell you all what happened and how it got this bad. Basically, I went home for a month in about May, and I stayed home in St. Louis until June because me and my brother decided that we wanted to come down here for the summer to stay in an apartment together, because I had a PR internship and my brother wanted to experience new things, so he wanted to come down to Atlanta. And so, you know, as we were looking for apartments, the only apartment that we could find only had 3 bedrooms, which was this apartment. And so that caused us to have to look for a roommate. So, you know, I go on Instagram, I make a post looking for a roommate, and a girl answers, and the girl is my RA from, well, she was my RA from my freshman year in the dorms, and she was super cool. So I was like, it's gonna be perfect living with her. Wrong. So basically, you know, as we were only living there for probably a couple weeks, and she asked me, could she have a party? This is incident 1. So I was fine with her having a party. You know, we didn't have any furniture. There was nothing anybody could really destroy. So I was fine with it. So she had her friends come over and everything. And during the party, I was in my brother's room talking to him. And I come back outside of the party. And this boy who's been flirting with me the whole party says, oh, I was looking for you. I couldn't find you. I looked in your room and I couldn't find you. And I'm like, excuse me, you let him go in my room talking to my roommate? And she was like, oh yeah, he was looking for you. As if there was absolutely nothing wrong with this dude going into my room. And so that was incident 1. Incident 2 happened okay, so basically with my whole roommate situation, I didn't really go into having a bunch of rules set out, because I just felt like we were adults and that I shouldn't have to really tell you things that are common sense. You know, we had separate bathrooms, so I don't care how you keep your bathroom room. I don't really care how you keep your room, just as long as there's not like food in it or anything. And I mean, I just figured there wouldn't really be any type of conflict. There couldn't be anything to really argue over. So that's why I didn't really come into it with rules. I thought a lot of things were common sense, but clearly they aren't. So she had this guy who was apparently her ex-boyfriend, and he would always be over here all the time. And it got to the point where I would wake up every morning, look out my window, and his car would be here. And then she wouldn't be here. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, is he living here? Because what in your right mind ever thought that was a good idea, you know, to have a guy living in my apartment? Mind you all, my name is the only name that was on the lease aside from my brother's. Her name wasn't on it. And so, you know, I texted her and I was like, you know, is this boy living here? And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, what's the problem? What's the problem? She just kept saying, what's the problem? And she ended up calling me. I was like, is he living here? She's like, I mean, he's here now. I'm like, okay, he can't stay here. Like, this is not a shelter. You can't be having guys staying in the apartment for free. First of all, I'm here with my brother. Like, what does that look like? You're letting a guy spend the night here, stay here for free, using all of our stuff for free, has not paid anything. You know, of course, she's upset about that situation, but she doesn't really say anything after it. And you know, after that, I actually had to talk to her and make sure she wasn't going to be walking around the apartment not speaking it to anybody because she didn't like what I told her about having somebody else stay here. So, you know, that's incident 2. My mom told me after that, like, you need to kick her out, all of that. But me, I just genuinely liked her as a person, and I did not want to kick her out. So then gets to incident 3. Now for the next few months, everything is kind of okay. But not, I mean, it is and it isn't. She kind of stays to herself. I stay to myself, and my brother actually ends up moving out and going back home to St. Louis. So, this is when the whole apartment robbery happened. So basically, she goes home for the week. Something like her mother is sick, so she had to go back home to Detroit. I think that's where she lives, in Detroit. And it's homecoming weekend, so me and Jasmine are out, you know, doing tailgate, homecoming stuff. And so, you know, when we get back, of course, I already told you all this story, the apartment is broken into. Now, the way the apartment is broken into seems as if it's a setup. Now, forgot to mention, my roommate did not only just have that guy coming in and out, there were several different guys. And these are not normal guys. These guys are typically, I guess, what you would consider a thug. They were coming in and out all the time. I never knew who any of these guys were. So I'm like, you know, this looks a little too planned. Who would have known that we were both gone? Who would have known that my brother had moved out, you know, that he wasn't here? You know, who would have known the tubs behind her door was not a person? So after that happened, I'm like, I don't really think this is gonna work out, because I really don't know who to trust in this situation, because I was freaking out at the break-in, and she wasn't really, you know, really freaking out about it. So, you know, after that happens, I decide that I'm going to get a security system. And so, you know, I got the security system put in that Sunday, you know, told her to let me know when she's coming back home so I can give her the information. Not even 2 days of having this security system, something else happens. So basically, me and Jasmine are in the room watching TV. Now I noticed that my room is right by the front door, and somebody unlocks the door. And the person who opens the door is not my roommate, it's her friend. And so I'm like, what the hell? Like, does she have a key? So I text my roommate and I'm like, does she have a key? She said, oh, no, she's using my key. She's just here waiting for her sister. Like, she has to go pick up her sister. Something. I'm like, okay. I just kind of brush it off. Because, I mean, of course, I've already told her, don't have people in here when you're not in here. But I'm thinking, whatever. Maybe this is a unique situation. So her friend ends up leaving and coming back. The alarm goes off. And her friend turns off the alarm, typing in the security password. So I'm like, oh, hell no. She has the password to our apartment. We just got this security system. Your friend already has the password. We just got our apartment broken into. So I asked her, you know, also during this time, she keeps not locking the door behind her. So, you know, trying to figure out why she's not locking the door behind her. I'm like, okay, can you start locking the door behind you? Because we don't live in a neighborhood where you can just leave the door unlocked. Even in the nicest neighborhoods, you shouldn't leave the door unlocked. And so she doesn't reply back. And I'm like, also, can you not give our password away to your friends? She doesn't reply to that one either. The next morning, I'm like, I'm over it. I text her and I'm like, I just don't think this living situation is working out, so I'll talk to you about it later. She never texts back to that. So later on during the day, she texts me, I locked the door after I left for your info. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to need you out at the end of the month for your info, because I was trying to be nice and talk to her about it, but since you want to get smart, you can leave. So after that happens, petty shit just starts happening. She's like, she'll keep leaving in and out, not locking the door, period. And we woke up one morning, the heat is on 90. She knows we don't like sleeping in the heat. The heat is on 90. And so, again, just petty stuff. So that night, she was getting ready with her friends to go out, and she keeps going in and out, in and out, in and out. At the same time, she has her music on in her room, blasting. It is so loud. And I asked her, I'm on the phone with my mom, trying not to go off on her, and I asked her while I'm on the phone with my mom, like, hey, can you turn the music down, because we're about to watch a movie. I'm about to have some people over, and we're about to watch a movie in the living room. So she's like, I don't think she even, I was talking to her, and she was just like, okay. So clearly the music still was not turned down, and I'm like, okay. I text her, I'm like, I asked you to turn it down. She didn't turn the music down once again. So, I just leave it alone. Eventually she leaves. Now, we're having roommate interviews and all this, so we decide to clean out my brother's room before the people come over to watch the movie. So he left the futon in there. We're taking the futon out, but on his floor is some unassembled desk from IKEA all over the floor. And so I'm like, this needs to get picked up. First of all, I don't know why she thought it was her storage room anyway. So we just picked up the pieces, put them in front of her door for when she got back. Later on that day, she gets back with all her friends, and I hear her, when she gets to her door, she's like, she's rude as fuck. And I'm like, thinking, okay, I'm rude for putting your stuff in front of your door that should have never been in his room in the first place. Like, I don't understand. So, we're still watching the movie. Our guests end up leaving, and I hear banging on her door, and they start rapping, and they're talking about the girl on the couch, I'ma beat her ass. Now, clearly, that's not a fucking song. Clearly, she's talking about me and my best friend sitting on the couch beating somebody's ass, and they're all in there kikiing and laughing and stuff, and I'm just waiting for somebody to do something. So we're sitting on the couch, just having a casual conversation while everybody comes out. Nobody says anything. So Jasmine's like, oh, okay. And my roommate slams the hell out of the door. Mind you, she's been doing slamming the doors for days, but slams the hell out of the front door and also does not lock the door once again. So I'm just to the point where it's like what the hell? Like, I can't do. The next day, I have a conversation with her about it, and she kind of acts like she doesn't know what's going on. Of course, like, she was over here saying she told her friends to leave, because I'm like, how could you have somebody in my apartment disrespect me, and I've never disrespected you? She's talking about she told them to leave and all of that, and I'm like, but you were laughing, so how could you have possibly told them to leave if you were laughing? And so, whatever, that whole conversation was stupid, because she didn't really admit to anything. She was really acting like nothing happened, really not seeing the big deal, and basically saying the reason why she slammed the door that night was because I asked her to turn her music down and she didn't like the way I was talking to her. Some stupid shit. The past few days has kind of still been tension. When her friends, I haven't told her that her friends couldn't come over. Her friends come in, some of them decide to speak. I just don't speak back, because I feel like whoever was talking about beating my ass, you should have did it. Like, I don't think none of that is funny. So, yesterday, and this is a story that I told on Snapchat, and this is basically the ending, the last incident of everything as to why she is no longer moving out December 1st. She's moving out November 24th. It's basically, I wake up in the morning to my TV, like, super loud. I hear Obama, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, who? I know Jasmine is not in this living room watching TV this loud. So I text Jasmine, and she's like, she said that she was in class. I'm thinking, why does my roommate have my TV on and I don't fuck with her right now? Like, don't watch my TV, don't sit on my couch, like, well, me and Jasmine's couch. But basically, I was really confused. So I see my roommate leaving, because I told you my window's by the door. I see her leaving and locking the door and turning on the alarm. And so the TV's still on, so I'm about to go out and turn off the TV because the TV is still loud. I see a girl sitting on my couch, and I'm just like, okay, who the hell is this? Because I already told her, do not have people over when you are not here. So I talked to my mom immediately, because mind you, I walk in the room, the girl does not even speak, but she's watching my TV like this is her friend stuff. And so I called my mom, and my mom was like, yeah, she has to go. She has to go, because that's beyond disrespectful. And what does she think this is? Like, you've already told her to not have people in here. My roommate texts me 30 minutes later talking about, yeah, the girl's just in here waiting for, she's gonna leave, like her car's gonna get fixed or something, waiting for her car to get fixed, and she's gonna leave at 12. Mind you, it's like 10, and I'm like, bitch, what? Like, no. So my response back to her text message was, I've told you numerous amounts of times to not have people in here when I'm not here, when you're not here, and you keep doing it anyway. And I was like, what did you think, that I was gonna be okay waking up to a random girl sitting on my couch watching my TV? And I was just supposed to be okay with that. So I'm like, okay, so you have you know, until before November 24th, because that's when I leave to go home. You know, you have until that time to get your stuff out, and we will give your prorated fee, what you've already paid for your rent, and leave it at that. The moral of the story is, I really have to not really let people take advantage of me. And when I see how somebody is at one point, that's just probably how they really are. I feel like this whole situation, every single incident that I've explained to you all, I have really been lenient with my roommate, and really just didn't want to kick her out, because I felt like I liked her. And you know, I liked her my freshman year. I've always liked her, and that I just didn't want to do that to her. But at the end of the day, people will take advantage of you, and they don't care how many passes you've let them have. You know, they don't care about anything, especially people who have that mindset. You know, I remember her telling me once, when I was talking to her about the whole having the guy living in my apartment situation, her telling me that, well, I could have somebody spend the night every single night of the day, every single day of the week if I wanted to, because I pay rent. That's not how it works. You talk to people about that. You know, you let people know what's going on. And I feel like it's super selfish for somebody to ever even say, you know, that they can do that because they pay rent. So like I said, at the end of the day, I just feel like, you know, don't really let people take advantage of you, especially in situations like this where your name is the one on the lease and your name is on the line. You really have to, you know, I'm not going to say not care about people's feelings, but at the end of the day, they're not really caring about your feelings, or, you know, that this is not, because basically my stepdad co-signed on this, so this is not just fully my responsibility. This is under my stepdad too. So the fact that you just think this is a place where you can do whatever you want whenever you want, and you can keep taking advantage of somebody, really upsets me and hurts my feelings, because I feel like I just put up with so much and I have not been anything but nice to her. So basically that is the end of my story time. I just wanted to tell you all the stuff that I've been going through with my roommate, and why I am looking for another roommate. And if you all don't know, Jasmine is moving in December, and we're in the process of looking for a new roommate now. So hopefully I don't have to tell you all another one of these stories, but I do have other roommate stories I'm going to share with you all from in another one of my story times. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.